Interested in this topic that we are going to have, and very excited because I have two youth leaders in studio this morning, and we are going to be looking at the role of the youth in nation building as we are looking at empowering tomorrow's leaders. Since childhood, we've been told we are the leaders of tomorrow, so I have two of them. I don't know if they are geared up to becoming the next leaders, because every other year that passes by, we have hopes that we, the young people, are the leaders of tomorrow. My two guests are two gentlemen, I should say. From the extreme left, I'll start with one, Yakub Mayanja, who joins us this morning, appearing on Good Morning Uganda Extra. Very good morning, Yakub. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning, Uganda. Good morning, JP, and also the management of UBC.
And well, it is a pleasure having you this morning because you're going to be talking a very huge topic of discussion. Now, on my immediate left, I do have another gentleman in Chemo, Masood Musa, who also joins us this morning to have this same conversation rotating around the role of the young people in building the nation. Good morning, Masood Chemo, and thank you for joining us.
Good morning, my brother Sonka, and good morning, Uganda. Good morning, everyone.
All right, and I'll start with you, Chemo. When you look at the role of the young people, it is a conversation you and I have been having for a couple of times, but it's not a conversation that you can easily put to bed anytime soon. Looking at, you know, the young people and them involving directly, what are some of the initiatives that you think government really needs to now put up? Because in 1 year's time, we're going to be heading into the election time. And we do not want to have very few young people on the ballot.
Specifically, there are very many initiatives that government should look into. And from the look of things, we look forward to seeing government putting up policies that favors every other person within this country. And number one is, from the look of things, when you look at how the youth are coming up and how they are passionate to making this country a better place like it has been before, then I feel as an individual there is a lot that government should put forward, and starting with looking at education system, you know, empowering the youth through initiatives and looking at the, you know, the innovation and the creativity in them. You know, so there are a number of things that government should put in place.
Okay, and let me get to Yakub. When you look at the initiatives, 2026, I want to believe you're also geared up for the 2026 elections in regards to anything that you want to go into. But looking at the initiatives, what do you think the government really needs to look at? And what do you think they've actually failed at? But let's look at what they need to first do.
What they didn't first do, or
let's first look at what they need to do.
What they need to do. This is a continuing process. We shouldn't take it as a point that it's only got to be a time of elections, a period of elections, for the government to gear up and also do these wonders and all that. Then that's a lie. Those are beautiful lies that are temporal, and yet we are looking for sustainability and also transformative programs for the country to grow, because it doesn't stop with elections. At the end of the day, Uganda is here, young people are here, and I mean, we need to be transforming and evolving. Well, the government of Uganda has, for quite some good time, has been budgeting for the young people. When you read the past 10 budgets of our nation, you realize that there has always been a slot for the youth. Yes. We've seen PDM, we've seen Myoga, we've seen wealth creation, and any other program that have been allocated for the young people specifically. So when we're talking about what should government do for the young people, I mean, it has worked to see that it empowers them. The question of whether it is viable, it is impacting, that's another story. But then with the books, we have it there. The government has done its job to see that the programs are put in place. What happens with whether it is workable is a question of implementation. Is it Are they implemented very well? Are they studied very well, the scalability and all that? Are these programs geared up to see that young people really benefit, or it is benefiting people outside the docket of youth? You get the point. So at the end of the day, to me, when you ask the initiatives are in place. Maybe specifically when it comes to elections, if I may say, last time when we were having the general elections, I contested for the position of Lord Mayor Kampala City, and I came to realize that the problem we faced as young people, it came by surprise for some of the people. Leave alone, save for me, because I knew it that yes, when it comes to 2021, we have to stand as young people, because this worked out in 2017 to say that young people, specifically for those positions that were bad for them to contest, we had already set a bar to incorporate them. Now, there comes a problem when young people have gotten information that now you can stand at any position without age limits. These people were slapped information without preparing them.
Okay.
At the end of the day, they are running to contest in positions that are not prepared, when they are not prepared. So it is at the right time for us to talk about initiatives that prepare young people to contest favorably in the next elections. If there are any programs that we are looking at, CSOs programs, government, private programs, that are to help young people contest so that we can have an election that produces leaders that are meant to lead this country. Okay. When I say meant, you know what I mean.
Okay, yes, I do. And Timo, Yakub makes a very pertinent point where he says that when you look at the timing of the age limit at times, the age limit conversations, whereby any young person can stand in any position, it came in at a time when few were prepared. And then also, let's look at the perception of the public in regards to young leaders. In your journey to leadership and what you've been able to observe, what has been the Ugandans' perception of the young leaders or the youth in leadership?
Severally, I will tell you, Sonko, that within Uganda, there is a lot that has been put in place, and there is a lot that people consider. And number one is why youth have not so much been given opportunity to lead and to take over positions, leadership positions, is because of the subconscious mentality and the information selective processing, whereby certain people within government feel that certain age is not fit to take over position. And somewhere, somehow, they could be right, because how we express ourselves as young people, may not show, may not put up a good precedence and set a good example that we are in position or we are ready to take over positions. Because severally, and in most cases, we, the young people, have been in position to show that we have the competence in us. So many of us do not come out to even recognize what is already in place. I mean, as a young person, and to take off the other subconscious mentality, is that we, the young people, should show competence and should be in position to be identified of competence after only being in position to realize and to recognize what government has put in place. We are in a government where so many years ago, I have grown in a generation of His Excellency President Museveni, and I can tell you that there are so many good things that the mayor that he has put in place, and and then there is much more that should be put in place. So as young people, we should also be in position to tell out that no, this country has come this way, so that we are recognized as persons that also recognize what has been put in place before we come out to also claim and seek for relevance to take over political positions.
Timo, let's look at education, the role of education today in, empowering the young people, in ensuring that the young people are ready for this leadership post.
Education plays a huge role And I can testify to you that there is just a lot that should be put in place as far as education is concerned, as per how my interest is and how I look at things from the look of things within this country. I will tell you that education helps an individual to come out and ascertain things in different ways. Education helps one to move out there and even tap resources that could lead to the development of a country. But I want to tell you that within the education sector, a lot has been done, and yet a lot should be done. What I want to share with you is that I feel as an individual, through our education sector, government should do a lot when it comes to things to do with the scholarships. The scholarship scheme, the scholarship system, to me, I feel is not suiting or is not being given to the rightful people. You realize that different people who are taking over scholarship positions are not people that are eligible. To me, I thought before that a scholarship scheme or a scholarship program that could have been set by government should have been an initiative that should meet the rightful people. Talk about that child from a deeper village who has performed fairly well, who should take over such position. And then we realized of late that according to our research, people who are taking over scholarship positions or scholarship chances within government are people, are children of well-to-do families. And we are leaving out the rightful Ugandan who should take over a scholarship position. You realize that someone is from Gombe SS or King's College and is taking up over scholarship position. Whoever takes over an individual or a student that goes through Gombe, King's College, Namiriango, to me, I feel their parents are in position to support them individually. So you realize that a Ugandan who is coming from Bukwa or Kwen or Kapchora, from a very, from a very poor background, is not meeting. And there are very many out there. So I feel there should be a policy that should be set, and government should critically come in to ascertain who or which kind of Ugandan, who that Ugandan should be. There should be a Ugandan who critically meets the requirement and from a poor background, so that we are in position to bring up a better and inclusive nation where every other person knows that no, it was through such a position that I am this person.
Jacob, on the education issue, when you look at how much impact education has on anyone, it is something that we can't debate about because it is very evident. Now, when you look at the young people today in Uganda, we have so many of the young people who are dropping out of school because of issues to do with their finances. And he mentioned something to do with scholarships, that students who are supposed to apply or who are supposed to benefit from this are very few, because the privileged are already taking them up. Now, when you look at that, how do we prepare ourselves and how do we even come out from such a situation?
JP, when we come here on TV, we come to inform the world and also to educate and share, and even learn. I won't let this go without me mentioning it because it is pertinent to me. I noted it when my brother was talking. To do with why young people are perceived not to be able to lead. Before I even come to your question, I've noted it carefully. Well, the problem with why young people are perceived not to be in good position to take on the mantle, Africa is still faced with a problem of age-centrism, where we think it is going to be for the seniors to be in the positions of power and all that. But then I want to put it to your point that President Museveni came to power when he was still a young man, and also he started his leadership journey when he was still very, very young. So it doesn't mean that I have to be of a certain age for you to lead this country. You just have to do what you have to do for so long as you know it. Well, going back to education, the question you've put across, JP, the issue of blame games has eaten up our country, where we have to point fingers. Yet, I believe the best way to approach leadership is by collective responsibility. where we must prepare ourselves to not give people that would deny us chances to take that opportunity and deny us those chances. Well, you come to realize that from the onset, we have taken trouble as subjects or masses to put people in power when they are not morally upright for them to be in those positions of power or authority. I would speak authoritatively that when we say that people that are meant to take on these chances deny these chances and they are taken by people that are in power, it's because power is at their disposal and authority. But because they have forgotten that, look here, we have been just given this power, but it belongs to the masses themselves. You understand? Our government is robust, but we cannot just focus on one man up there to say that, okay, look here, President Museveni should also come into this matter and all that. No, we have leaders on various stages who have not been responsible enough to say that, look here, I am given this mantle, I have to serve these subjects, and at the end of the day, I am accountable to them. So if you are the person passing out these positions, rather slots of education to the young people, why don't you be responsible enough? Okay. And if this person is working, if I may say, working irresponsibly, put them out.
Okay. And well, on that same point, Chamo, you do realize that for the issue to do with financing, which has become a very big issue for the young people, and the only alternative at times is starting up an enterprise or a business. So again, my question would be, when you look at some of the initiatives or support systems that we can lay, maybe the NGOs or civil society organizations, what are some of those things that they can help the young people to start up their own enterprises? Because at the end of it all, if someone starts up their own business, maybe they can easily finance their journey into, leadership or even empower themselves from a social perspective. But what support do they entirely need?
As a young man and as an entrepreneur as well, I'm in leadership, positions and interests. I'm so much interested in leadership and as well in entrepreneurship. And I want to tell you that the biggest challenge we have lately is we've realized is that government should fund, youth should be funded. And after them being funded, you realize that they will be in position to do 1, 2, 3 things as far as business is concerned. But before youth should be funded, I feel that the government should come up with programs and set up policies that, identify, that will enable us or government to identify the rightful persons to benefit from a government fund. You realize that I will take you back through the government initiatives, the good government initiatives that were put in place. You realize that government comes up with very good initiatives that at the end of the day don't seem to be affecting the process as far as socioeconomic growth and development is concerned. You come up with an idea, or you table an idea, but because government is so much into seeing it is youth or its country being transformed, they will definitely, take your ideal. That is why you see that recently with the recent project of the PDM, you realize that many young people cannot account for the million shilling. But if critical analysis was done, you realize that a million shilling would have done a lot. A million shilling would go for a cow, a Frisian cow, that could give someone milk. And given the past traditions, you realize that a cow, in Sabesa region, every homestead had a cow. And if the 1 million was maybe allocated to the young people and told them that you can do modern farming and do zero grazing, So we are providing, instead of providing you with 1 million, we are giving you a Frisian cow, where we are going to teach you on how to go with the zero grazing and how to take care of this cow, so that the previous days of every family having a cow would be put in place. And what am I talking about? I'm talking about, and I'm looking at things to do with value addition as far as a cow is concerned. So you realize that if the 1 million shilling was channeled well, and for example, taking an example I've used of putting up a cow, you realize that something would have done. Because if you have a cow, you can do it for commercial. You can have you can be selling, you can be selling the cow for commercial, and that's where you may generate school fees for your students and even have some pocket change for your family. When it comes to the cow, you can have milk. And if every homestead would have been given a cow through the 1 million shilling that government has put in place in a few days ago, you realize that we would have maybe championed and talked about how we could we could do value addition to the milk that the cow would give us. And you realize that at the end of the day, we would have maybe collection centers or have milk processing centers, so that we could put milk through the cow, through the 1 million shilling. We could have we would have been in position to do proper accountability of the 1 million shilling that government had put in. So it's a lot of things that we need to look at. And my emphasis is that in the next project the government is going to put in place, I suggest and propose that the people who are responsible in bringing information to the table or on table should engage with the people directly. They should not sit in their offices and think that they know what should have been done. I didn't see anyone coming to community to seek guidance on how the 1 million the 1 million shilling was supposed to be spent. And this is the taxpayers' money. This is the government money, and the government is the people. So what we are saying is that next initiatives should be engaged directly on how it should be done by the people.
All right. When we do return after the break, we have a conversation with these two gentlemen, of course, looking at one, have there been any few problems that the young people have been facing over the years? How have they been addressed? How can we address these problems also? And then also looking forward in the next few years or months as a country, we're heading to the polls in 2026, but the bigger question is, shall we be seeing older people representing young people in positions that are supposed to be filled by the young people? That is a conversation that we are also going to be having. But again, also looking at fostering innovation and creativity among the young people is a big concern that we're going to be having. I'll be returning with Yakub Mayanj and Chemo Mashud Musa in a conversation rotating around youth, nation building and more. So stick around. This is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
Nyati Motion Pictures brings you Tuko Pamoja, a documentary film about our unity as Ugandans and Africans.
Bunyoro would have simply created an East African community that we are looking for today.
The rulers of Bunyoro are actually Luos.
We people who live across the Nile, we are so related from our myth or from just the Nile.
We are the same people, and genetically we are even the same people.
We are similar people.
We are one.
Pamoja, we are one.
Use that word, pamoja.
Premiering every week from 3rd February to June 2024 at the National Theatre and Indere Center. Daily screenings are from 4th February to June 2024 at Ham's Cinemax and the National Theatre. To get a ticket, call 0778 787 660. Tuko Pamoja?
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers give their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with Baby Junior jelly.
So dry targets and admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, Baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa. Junior Jelly, baby Junior. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Gear up, grab your running shoes and join the race for life. Run 42, 21 or 5 kilometers to equip Kisoro Hospital's very first ICU. Then, after the finish line, groove all night at the ultimate dance showdown with DJs and performers from Uganda and Kigali. Secure your sport at virungamountainmarathon.org and be a part of history. Save the date, June 1st, 2024 at Shaza Ground, Kisoro Town. Race for a cause. Run for life.
Juko. Yo. Wachikuwa. Check the shopping, man. What's your secret?
Haven't you heard of the parish development model PDM?
Yes, I did, but I thought it was just a talk.
No, Sebatia. It is real. I and a few friends together formed a circle, accessed money from the PDM, invested in a portrait project, and now things are moving.
Juko. I thought I was one of your friends.
You are.
But you left me behind.
I didn't leave you in poverty. What you do, just visit your LC2 chairperson and your parish chief and start the process of economic transformation. Just like that. The parish development model is an initiative from the government of Uganda through the Ministry of Local Government designed to transform all lives of Ugandans for the better. PDM, my parish, my development, my life.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala, this is Good Morning Uganda Extra.
The role of the youth in nation building is what we are discussing this morning. I have Chamo Mashud Musa from the Sebei sub-region, and I have Yakub Mayanja, who joins us also this morning, and we are here having this same conversation, rotating around how we can empower the young people, the youth, to get involved in the spaces of making different policies that are likely to benefit the local Ugandan, or what you could call the Mwananchi, that are likely to benefit the entire country, and also to set the fire ablaze for a brighter future for the both of us, rather for the entire country. But before the break, I did mention that we're going to be looking at some of the issues that are hindering the growth and the involvement of the young people in decision making. But aside from that, you also get to realize that there is an important topic of creativity and innovation that for the years that we've lived, it is something that other countries are doing so well, and I'm not ruling out the fact that we are also following the same path. But like I've mentioned, other countries are doing quite well and better than we are, though we are fast tracking and almost heading there. And Jacob, when you look at the issue to do with innovation and creativity, but before we go there, there is an element of mentorship. Many young people in our generation today lack mentors, people to look up to, people to guide them into either business, the social aspects of life, and even in the political journey. When you look at how some young people live their lives today, how many of them get into leadership positions, some of them clearly have no direction because they've not had someone to put them there or someone to ably prepare them for such, situations in life. Let's look at mentorship. How do we, or how should our leaders today, our current leaders, prepare the next generation of leaders in all the various sectors in Uganda?
Well, we must face these few following aspects. As a country, there must be the will for the young people to be mentored. This will lies with those that should do the mentoring, the leaders themselves, or the mentors, if I may say, for lack of a better words. Let me call them the mentors. They would be mentors. There must be that will to see that a young person is nurtured, is groomed, deliberately, because without intention to do something, and we think it's going to be obvious or automatic, then that's where we fail. Me walking into your footsteps just because I'm your PA, just because I'm your subordinate in a particular department, it's not automatic that I'm going to be mentored. Just because, yes, I know by observation, it is another way of mentoring, but then there must be that will. We are going to tell someone, look here, JP, you are new at this station, this is your senior, and then the senior tells you, observe what I do. That's an intention.
Mm-hmm.
So when you tell me to observe what you do, definitely I'm going to be selective in my consumption of what you do. I'm going to be critical because you told me to do what? To observe. Mm. Once I'm doing it deliberately, it means I must be critical in the consumption of what you're doing. If you don't tell me what deliberately to observe you in what you are doing as my senior, I might fall prey of your actions and I consume everything because I'm not engaging with a deliberate mind, with a critical mind.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just copying, if I may say. Yet mentorship is not copying, it's learning.
True.
You get the point? Mm-hmm. So if I don't engage with a deliberate aspect, I'm going to fail. And this is what we are faced with. You find someone is in an office, he knows they brought a junior in his department. Mm-hmm. This junior has got a degree and a master's, if I may say. No wonder he's in that office. So for him, he sees a threat.
Instead of helping and lifting this person.
You get the point. That's why you are seeing, I'm not saying, and I'm not disputing the fact that we should have continued learning and education.
Mm-hmm.
But you go to university today, you sit in a class, you see a class of first years. These young people, they are studying with someone of 8 years. You ask him, what are you doing here? He says, I'm still safeguarding my job. He's in class with his daughter. I'm not saying it's bad, but I'm engaging from the perspective of them coming back to study, not out of a call of learning and also education, growth and all that, but then from a perspective of them safeguarding. You get the point? So he doesn't even have time to mentor this person. That's why we don't have mentors. Secondly, we must be critical in our steps. This goes to now the young leaders who are going to be the grown-ups of tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
If you know you are preparing yourself to become the next minister, the next what, the next head of that parastatal, name it, next PS and what have you. Don't put yourself in a position where you're going to be questioned. My father told me that. Never put yourself in a position where you're going to be questioned. That should be just a mistake, but not you deliberately putting yourself in a position you're going to be questioned. Why and how? You are preparing to become a leader. But you are this young person enjoying the fruits of corruption with the big people, thinking these people are going to be here forever. These people are going to die. They are leaving the country. You are remaining behind.
And you're the one who's going to take on the mantle.
We are questioning you today. Look here. 10 years back, we saw you in this scandal and ABCD. You get the point. You can't be the mentor of the next generation when you are in that position, when that time comes.
Okay.
You must be careful when you are in the path of leadership, because this thing is going to haunt you. And with the world today, with the technology we're having, information is public information. We are going to tell your movements from when you were born up to when you die. No lie. So you be careful. Don't pose to be a mentor when you have dirty linen. So mentorship is something we need, but then it doesn't mean that somebody to be with gray hair That's the only person you should take
as a mentor
guidance from. That doesn't mean that for one to be with gray hair, he qualifies to be a mentor. No. For someone that can impact. My brother here, Masudi, he's told you, he's doing entrepreneurship wherever he's doing it from, back in his home, and also leadership, business leadership. He's a mentor because he's deliberate to see that he addresses the problem of lack of employment in society. He feels to be a what? A mentor. And even the person, don't be, my brother Masood, don't put yourself in a position where you say, okay, now for me, since I'm a mentor to others, I can't be mentored. No, this is a continual thing. For him, even the mentor is going to be having his own mentor. You get my point? So, we shouldn't look at the old to be the mentors and all that. Everyone can be a mentor for so long as they are deliberate, they are impacting, they are innovative in their style of doing things. Because at the end of the day, we're not going to claim to be a mentor and then you are stagnant in your course of action. It's like you are there by mistake. So you must be sure that you're going to be multiplying your knowledge and skills to be in a position to answer questions, various questions from various corners that are coming, following even the trends that happen to shape the society today. So,
okay. And
that's it.
Chama, when you look at the issues dealing with the youth involvement and participating in building the nation, one will definitely look at some of the things that the young people are facing today, because the young people are really facing quite a number of obstacles on their journey. One, those who want to participate directly in politics. We also have those who want to be highly influential in society. And then we also have those who want to be business practitioners and highly looked at individuals in the world of business. But as the young people are putting themselves in these positions, we have various challenges at hand. We have various problems that really need to be cited, and of which I will first of all ask, if you're to look at the situation in Uganda today, the current situation today, what is in the pool of concerns for the young people?
Yes, thank you, Brother Thonko. But at this time, I want to, before I come into innovation, allow me hint on what my brother Yakuba has talked about as far as mentorship is concerned. I have a view and I have a feeling that there must be, or there should be, policies that is being set by government to look into who and how we could become an inspiration and another person could be looked at as a mentor. There should be policies right away from the political way of life, social way and economic way. And number one, as far as mentorship is concerned, is the policy I'm talking about is policies regarding who should take what office. Back in the days, when you look at what Colombia does, or what Colombia did, or what the Western countries do, is that you cannot become maybe a member of parliament, you can't become a president, you can't be a chairperson LC5, you can't be chairperson LC3, you can't be mayor, you can't be anything. If your way of life is not clear. You realize back in the days, I will give you an example of the Colombian aspirant for the candidature of the presidency, Pablo Escobar. Pablo Escobar one time proposed and shared with the people that he wanted to be president of Colombia. But with the Colombian system or with the European system, you realize that you don't become anybody within public office or public service before you are ascertained of how your life has been. How we breed corruption is because we are not in position to tell what life someone has been doing. Pablo Escobar was the first person to find the sea route for drugs. He was a drug lord. And you know what is associated with drugs? Drugs are associated with things to do with fake money. Drugs are associated with things of hijacking people and doing robbery. So when Pablo Escobar was called to the Congress system to be ascertained of how and what life he has been living, you realize that he was disqualified by the Congress.
He didn't move careful.
Yes. So he was not competent. Yes, he had the money. And now when we talk about mentorship, then one has to be clean, a person with clean conscience. You have to be intentional. You need to be in position, or you must be in position to be having a willing, or to have a willingness to be mentored. Because if it is mentorship now, Pablo Escobar was the stinking rich. He was a filthy rich man. Now, can we take Pablo Escobar, who found the first route for drugs, who was a drug lord, as a mentor? So we have to see who should be our mentor. In this country, we can have mentors. We will only have mentors. We still have them, you know, but we will still retain or have or consider or refer other people as mentors only if policies are set that before Chemoma should take over maybe a position of a member of parliament for his constituency, which is Tingay, his way of life should be ascertained, you know, and realized of how he has been getting his money, for example. So there are a lot of things. And number one is policy. Before we could refer other people as policy, as mentors, we should set policies that help to shape and guide on how a leader should seem like within this country. And coming to the innovative bit of it, I feel very many people are innovative. And that is why you see that the recent appointed minister, I always use it as example, Honorable Balam, who is the Minister for Gender, in charge children affairs.
On the youth.
And the youth. You realize that his way of innovation has been one cause that has led him to becoming what he is right now. And so, if government continues to value young people from different spheres that way, then you realize that in the next few years, this country will be occupied with people with clean consciousness and people that understand what clear sense of direction they should follow. Because given his examples, I may not explain much on camera, but what I'm talking about is every other person has known who Honorable Balam has been. He has been directly, involved in issues pertaining government affairs. He has always come close, and he has always brought the people together and wanted to cause what is called inclusiveness as far as leadership is concerned. So what I'm trying to say is government should go as far as realizing and putting up centers that will enable us, to be realized of the competence that is in us. Put up incubation centers, like I said one time. Put up recreational centers, and let's put good use of the recreational centers. Let this be an avenues where we are going to realize more eloquent and more vibrant people. If we are using football, then let football be one of the avenues of realizing talent. If we are using athletics, then let athletics be one of the avenues of realizing how people could tap resources. Sebei sub-region has got the fastest human beings on Earth planet.
Okay.
How good are we putting in, how good are we putting a use of these people's talent? There is a lot that could be talked about, my brother.
All right. And as we're summing up with our conversation, I'll get back to the two gentlemen. One is the young people are facing very many issues, by the way. But what would be your advice? I'll start with Yakub. What would be your advice for the young people? Because it does seem like the community has given room for the young people. And in the current situation that we're in today, survival is for the fittest. You have to put yourself in this position. And at the end of the day, people will then perceive you, though it is not the way we want things to be. But it does look like it is the way things are now. But as we're summing up with our conversation this morning, what would be your advice to a young man out there, one who is maybe starting university today, just out of school, or someone who wants to try and step up in regards to leadership in this country today?
One day, the Kavaka Mwenda Mtevi say that the developed countries, economies, the civilized economies that we normally celebrate, they depend both on culture and education. Talking about education from that point, I'm not only confident, but I'm also certain that education, time and again, shall always be a key to success. I know for a fact that when we are having our fun talks, it is far-fetched for one to believe that education is the key to success.
Mm-hmm.
But then this is a reality. When we are facing the right bit of your life, education is going to be and play a very vital role in helping you become what you want to be. For skills, you have to learn them. For knowledge, to acquire it, it's not going to find you where you are. You have to seek it, meaning through education. So, anything to do with innovation, what should young people do? They should continue their education. Don't be there in a university and then you're like, but somebody made it and is now rich. You know that somebody. How many, if I may ask, how many people that are doing well and they didn't go to school? Leave alone lying yourselves, saying somebody owns 6 arcades, bring me a very big fraction of illiterates living well off than literates. Bring that fraction. You can't bring it. So at the end of the day, education, our government should help us as young people to be deliberate. I want to put thumbs up for the Minister for Education, Mama Janity, and also the other stakeholders for being deliberate to say that, look here, our curriculum should shift a little bit to be intentional, and more is desired. I come from a perspective, from a background where I am now trying to say that we have a lead in Islamic economics and finance. For it, it was passed by law through Parliament last year. But then the education from the bottom is still wanting, and I want to implore and also request government, specifically Mama Janity and the other stakeholders, to see that we have Islamic finance incorporated in our curriculum for young people to now tap into what is the future. Because we are seeing Middle East, rather the Arab world, which is a champion of this, and also even the UK, the champion of this particular kind of arrangement, Islamic finance and economics, taking on the world. But then we have not prepared. Not until it eats up the entire world, then we start preparing again. We shouldn't fail at this. At least we are still having the opportunity to so that we prepare. At the universities, the course is there, but then at the lower levels, it's not there. So we should bring it back down from maybe, let me say, high school. As they are going for the other kind of economics studies, they should also go for Islamic economics and finance as well, so that we can have it incorporated in our curriculum to better these young people, because these are opportunities that are at their disposal. The world is now fighting to scramble Africa again, but then we must prepare ourselves to take advantage of their fight for the scramble of Africa, to be prepared. Okay. Prepare the young people to see that when they come to struggling to see, you saw what happened with Kenya when they went to, when the president went to the USA. They are giving them a lot of things to curtail China's influence in the continent. You understand? But then this comes with how prepared are we? When the Arabs and the other people that are championing Islamic finance come here, should we be at the level of preparing ourselves, or should we be at the level where we are prepared to talk on and also grab the opportunity before it shifts to the neighboring countries?
Okay.
That's what I request the government to help us, and also for the young people, continue with education. It's going to help you be who you want to be in the future. And also even now.
And now, Timo, when you look at what the young people need to do, what in your parting shots is that? And then also the advice that you can give to our leaders to prepare the young people for the next generation.
What the young people should do, my brother Sonko, is simple. Every other person, and this one cuts across. Young people, elderly, leaders in public offices, every other person should know about their responsibility and their role. Everyone should understand why they are taking part in what position. A case in point is the recent PLU movement. The recent PLU movement is a good initiative. that is acting as an avenue to identify the most eloquent and more vibrant people. But you realize that I looked at the PLU movement as one of the things that is making people lose focus of what they should do. A case in point is our area members of parliament. Because they want to maintain their status quo, they have taken the PLU movement to be their own project. And in my language, or in our tradition as a being, we say you can't serve two masters, you cannot hold two sticks at a go. You cannot hold them at a go. So my emphasis is, let's understand our roles. If you are a member of parliament, then you need to understand that your being in parliament, for example, is to articulate and represent people, represent issues of national importance, talk on behalf of the people, but not moving here and there, party to party, in the names of championing the PLU movements. One way or the other, we will still lose focus, and we may not be in position to understand who is competent in one society. What I'm trying to applaud here is, as leaders, and specifically our area members forum, the Muhoozi project is a project that is meant to be, and the overwhelming support, the crowds you people see, is not because of you, the members of parliament. Certain people come into those gatherings because they want to see who General Muhoozi is. Some others want to come into those gatherings because they anticipate, or they feel, they look forward to eating, because these gatherings involve eating as well. So what I'm trying to say is, let's understand our roles. If you are a member of parliament, concentrate into parliamentary things. The Muhoozi project is a project that has been put in place, and what comes after it is by God's grace. God understands exactly why the movement is put in place. So you people should get out of that and concentrate on how to transform society. No wonder you are even in these movements and you are not even presenting or sharing with the issues that affect people, but you are instead enjoying the movements and appearing on camera that I was in Muhoozi project. And so what? What we are saying is, let's be people who understand our roles, so that we are in position to represent our people rightfully, so that people in society, so you are even giving so people understand that this movement is like this. We say when you attach yourself to certain things, you can even lose at the end of the day, because some of these people are failures and they have amalgamated themselves into these positions or into this movement because they want to maintain their status quo and appear on a limelight.
Okay. And thank you very much, gentlemen. Because of time, we are likely to be ending our conversation here. But these are two of the finest young men that we have in the country. And of course, we are likely to be having them again for a conversation that is rotating around youth empowerment, but maybe also looking at the political side of things from Uganda moving forward. My two guests this morning have been having Chamo Mashud Musa, an entrepreneur and a youth leader from the Sebei sub-region, and Yakub Mayanja, who is also an entrepreneur. Yakub Mayanja Musazi, an entrepreneur, a youth leader, and of course someone who is also looking forward to, again, getting onto that ballot come 2026. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for being part of the conversation this morning. And to you, the young person who has been watching and following the conversation, we are fully humbled to have your company this morning. Now, till tomorrow, Tuesday, the 28th of May, we shall be back. Good morning, Uganda, from 6:30 a.m. till this hour of 10 o'clock. I am Joram Paul Sonko. Have yourselves a good day and goodbye.
Live from UBC Studios in Kampala.